If I could force every single CSGO player to watch one video, it would be this one. No, not for the ad revenue it would bring me, but because the mindset you have around failing will determine the rate at which you improve at CSGO. The Bear, an amazing TV show that you should watch, highlighted an interview with the prolific former college basketball coach, Coach K. And what he said in this interview about failure, it really struck a chord with me, not only about CSGO, but also just about life. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 points that Coach K made about failure and how they should influence your mindset so that you can improve at CSGO as fast as possible. And the third one has had an immense impact on my game personally, so stick around for that. But first, Leadify. Leadify is a free website that I absolutely love. On Leadify, you can analyze the automated stats that Leadify gives you for every single game that you play. Along with this, Leadify will automatically capture highlights from your games so that you can send them to your friends to show off how nasty you are. Lastly, you can compare and share your accomplishments with your buddies. Leadify is amazing, man. They give you so much information that you can use to get better. Go click the link in the description. Thank you, Leadify.
You know, in order to get better, you change limits. And when you change limits, you're going to look bad and you're going to fail.
Let's start with changing limits. You will have to push yourself to break habits, to learn new things, and most importantly, to try new things. A huge barrier to people's improvement in CSGO is plateau. It is so easy for us to get stuck on our way of doing things. Certain plays, certain utilities, certain maps, certain positions, whatever it is. And not only do we need to push ourselves to do things differently, we also need to push ourselves to do things better. As some examples, we need to clear angles more concisely. We need to communicate better. We need to be more purposeful with our util. There's anything related you can improve on. It is only when we change our limits, when we push ourselves to do things differently and to do them better, will we improve in a meaningful way. And the second part of this is that you are going to look bad. A lot. And you're gonna fail. A lot. Let's take spraying, for example. When I was first learning how to spray with the AK, I failed over and over and over again. I dragged down too hard. I didn't drag down hard enough. I whiffed easy sprays, easy shots. But it's because I pushed my limit and I tried and failed that I finally improved at it. If I had not failed those hundreds of missed sprays, thousands of missed sprays, I would not be at the point that I am now. And I'm not saying I'm a spray god. I still got to get better at it. I'm just saying I'm much more comfortable with it than when I first started. So you have to fail is what I'm saying. People will laugh at you and people will make fun of you, but that's okay because you are going to improve at a faster rate by pushing your limit.
And at West Point, I learned that failure was never a destination. In other words, when you are knocked back, you know, figure out why and then change.
We constantly fail in this game, which makes knowing how to fail incredibly important. Now, there are 2 major steps to learning from failure in my experience. Number 1, you need to be able to understand why you failed. What did you do and why did you do it? And what did your opponents do and why did it work? This is where a huge part of the CSGO player base goes wrong in their thinking. We fucking love excuses. I love excuses, you love excuses. They're easy, right? From big ones like accusations or blaming teammates to maybe more subtle ones like pointing out that the enemy team, oh, they're playing so stupid. That's a classic. Or even constantly blaming timing is an excuse. You need to clear your mind of these excuses because all they do is stagnate your ability to improve and to learn from failure. What matters is you. Learning from failure and thus improving at CSGO starts with you taking accountability. And along with this, you need to be able to categorize failure in a realistic way. Sometimes the enemy did just hit an insane shot, or sometimes maybe you did actually lag out. And maybe sometimes your teammate did team flash you. When you're able to effectively discern between failure that is within your control and failure that is out of your control, that is when you gain this new profound ability to accept Acceptance for failure that is out of your control is so important, because if you're not able to accept it, if you linger on those things, then that is what clouds your brain with toxicity, negativity. That's what makes you upset. But when you're able to accept that it happened and to move on, you will improve at a much faster rate, because you allow your brain to focus on the interactions, on things that you can actually improve on. And the second key to learning from failure is reflecting on what you could have done instead of what you did that resulted in failure. Think about how your opponent played the situation and what they did to put themselves in a position to win, and what you could have done to reverse that situation. A lot of learning from failure is reflecting on what your opponent did well. So all in all, you will fail over and over and over again. It's about what you do in response to that failure that determines how quickly you'll improve, that determines how much fun you're gonna have in this game, and determines what your rank is gonna be a few months from now.
You're not going to get there alone. You know, be on a team. You know, surround yourself with good people and learn how to listen. You're not going to learn with you just talking.
A personal story for you. When I first started playing CS, I was in college, and the place that I lived in didn't have Wi-Fi. I didn't know this until I moved in, and I had somebody come out and they told me that they would have to dig up the street in order to give the place Wi-Fi. So I didn't have Wi-Fi. I moved out of there a few months later, but I brought my gaming laptop to my two buddies' place, and one of them introduced the other two of us to CSGO, and that's really where it all started for me. We would study for 6 to 8 hours a day, have dinner, and then play CSGO for 6 to 8 hours in the evening. It was amazing. We would LAN party. My two friends were smokers, so after every game, we would go on side and we would talk. And what did we talk about? We'd talk about the game that we just played. And it was in those moments of conversing, of feedback, of saying we should have done this, we could have done this instead, is where I improved so quickly, because we had those discussions. And a huge point here is humility. You have to set your ego aside and accept that you make mistakes, that sometimes you're gonna look dumb, because if you don't do that, then you're not gonna be receptive to feedback. And in terms of feedback, you can get it through multiple channels when you're playing CSGO. One way is unprovoked, unsolicited from your teammates right after you make a mistake. And yes, this can be tilting, and yes, lots of times they're absolute douchebags and being really mean, but lots of times there's truth to it. Right? If you look through the douchebaggery, there's gold nuggets of actual helpful information in there. But lots of times it is just bullshit, so do that with you will. But more importantly than that, if you play with some people consistently, ask them for feedback. Ask them what do you think I could do better? And in a more narrow scope within a game, if you guys, let's say, like lose a bomb site together, talk about what you could have done differently. Those discussions are so goddamn important. When you are open and honest about your mistakes, feedback will come to you more often and with more grace. You can also join my Discord below, where there's a text channel called Improvement Place. You can ask any question, you can post any clip, hell, you can post a demo in there and you're gonna get feedback. I want to thank you for watching this whole goddamn video. I really appreciate it. If you felt like you can walk away with something, please consider subscribing. And a huge thank you to my channel members. They're scrolling on by over there. You guys are awesome. Please consider becoming a member, because goddamn it is comfy over here in Wilsonatorville. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much.